do you see this apparently global trend of people looking more inward rather than outward?
That's not good news. So that will come with a cost. And if we continue on a strategy of partly decoupling or de-risking, then we can go into a decade of slow growth. We can repeat the 1970s. I think things look a bit better now between the G2, China and the US being more than 40% of the global economy. We are at least seeing that China and US is talking together. I don't think they agree on everything, that's for sure. But this notion of total decoupling that someone raised a few years ago, I think is now left. For those that are like hanging in there and say, oh, we don't want change, of course, we have seen in history that those nations are not doing well. It's those nations that are open for change and embracing the new technologies. For China, this is a challenging moment in the sense that we also see that the consumption patterns are changing in many of the important export countries. Because just during the pandemic, we bought TVs, we bought furnitures, everything that was like commodities. But now, after the pandemic, people want to travel, they want to go to the theater, there's an increase in the services. And of course, services as an export and import is also growing, but China is a manufacturing hub of the world. So in addition to some of the kind of so-called risk handling, de-risking, means that some of it goes to Mexico, Vietnam, and India is happening. But I'm happy to also share that medium, long term, I'm very bullish, optimistic on behalf of the Chinese economy. Also, of course, the big investments in infrastructure in China that maybe some people say have over-invested. Of course, for a country like China to have world-class infrastructure, speed trains, roads, airports, over time, this will be very, very important. And I also see now that China is diversifying, as you also mentioned, its manufacturing. Also, then inviting to more domestic than consumption, but also moving more into also services and services export. And I think there are some silver linings too. I think the breakthroughs on the technology side, not only on artificial intelligence, but also in the Internet of Things, the way we share data, but also when it comes to, for example, the new ways we deal with medicine, synthetic biology, will create so many changes and innovations. And we also know that China is leading in many of these new technologies that will be so important for increasing productivity in the future.